Good afternoon, colleagues. The topic of the next briefing is the Institute of Civic Society of Mariupol against corrupted local authorities in the fight for state integrity and democratic values. We have the head of Lidiya Mugli, representative of support of defense of Mariupol and Spartak Stepnov, Andryushchenko, representative of NGO Initiative Group, and the head of Civic TV in Azov. So the floor is yours. Thank you. Good morning. Good afternoon. Thank you. Ukraine Crisis Media Center. We would like to speak about civic processes in Mariupol. Civic society started to wake up at the beginning of military activities, and a lot of volunteers and to help the army and refugees, ADPs. A majority of NGO and it's such a component as civic work and the control of local authorities and different initiatives in the city council. And we invited representatives of NGO that are the most active in the city. And I would like to give the floor to Lidiya. She will tell you about Civic Council. Good afternoon. On April 15, we created, legalized Civic Council by City Council of Mariupol. It includes 60 representatives of 60 NGOs. The process of creation was quite long, and 4 months until we were able to convince local authorities to agree. And it took a lot of time for them that such council is necessary for them. Creating such a council, we had such goals and tasks that would be about improvement of quality of life for people in our city and also control of the local government. We are working for 3 months only, but we have something positive, something negative, and lots of plans. And we don't hear from our local authorities. They don't welcome such an initiative. We are ready to help to reform. We are ready to help reforms, and we need reforms. We need to reform the government, local government, utilities. Unfortunately, we don't have a dialogue, no feedback from the government, local government, so we have to enforce them to sit down at the table, at the round table with us, and to develop solution. As to life quality improvement, during the last session, the one before the last session of City Council, and the building was burned. As we understand, that building, it's typical all over Ukraine. It was built 50 years ago, and there was a typical project, and accordingly, someone who comes into the building feels from the very beginning that they are beggars. And that's the architecture of such a building. So, at the executive committee, they made a decision to vote for the reconstruction of that building of the city council. Nobody showed the design of reconstruction. Nobody informed what would be there, how they would build new processes. As it came out, just not to inform the public, the citizens, and not invest and give money for the design. City authorities did not organize a competition around this issue, and so they didn't need to inform people, the residents. We organized that process. International architects came to us, and the competition will be announced in very soon. And for the new building, of the local council and city, and starting with that, from realizing that process, only then we can build as new processes of the government. I love the phrase like of Saakashvili. The government means service. So we're constructing our building of the city council. We started the process. They should provide services to the residents. Next point of control. One of the examples of control. Quite recently, local government wanted to raise tariffs for utilities in the city. We found a compromise with them. We came to the enterprise, the utility. We examined the economical explanation of the tariff. We saw that nobody's working with utilities in our city. Efficient managers as such, they're absent. If it's a municipal property, then they don't need efficient managers. What we achieved, we sent our conclusions with our proposals. And finally, we needed to waste utilization, waste management utility. We're working on other issues of how to reform in local governance. Tell us, local government. Do you accept, do they welcome your initiatives, your suggestions, and local government doesn't welcome us? Those initiatives we had about reforms, they did not consider them. We had to go to the governor. We had a meeting with the deputy governor and showed the projects we would like to implement here. You know, as all the problems in all the cities are the same. But there are some small differences. So deputy governor was very positive about the program that we brought, and we'll try to, through the governor, we'll try to implement that. When you speak about your projects, do you suggest to use money from the budget or from grants? There are joint projects. Of course, our budget is not limitless, and that's why we would like to see both donors' money and also money from obviously from the budget of the region and of the city. Thank you very much. I would like to give the floor to Piotr, who is very active. They have info, Andryushchenko, and good afternoon. My name is Petro. I'm from Initiative Group Together, and the main point is to control local government. Why it is important, and why do we fight against, struggle against local authorities? There is a very simple answer, because under such social economic circumstances, absence of positive changes in the government, high level of corruption, and absolute intransparency of processes, they water anti-Ukrainian separatist mood in the city. All pay attention to the situation related to Mariupol, and that allows our authorities like in old times, to do what they did. All corruption schemes are there. All people are the same. Budget money from the budget go through companies friendly to them, and we need to stop that. The biggest, we were the most active in March, April, and we started to fight actively after local authorities discredited itself, and construction materials that came to the storage facility for victims of the shell and to be used, they gave that to the utilities. Also, to speak about that positive, what we achieved, our results. Because of hard work, we finally have a complete full publicity in terms of regulatory acts in Mariupol. Our achievement is that our deputy commissions and activity of the city council is completely open. Every resident of Mariupol can come and see and can express their opinion. It does mean that our victory is final and this is the end. Unfortunately, everything goes very difficult with difficulties, and the front distracts us, and including distracts our police. But because members of our civic organization, we found a big corruption scheme related to education. How they create, how they repair, how they create groups, and the chief of the education department, Dmitry, and infrastructure chief, which is responsible for all the repairs in schools. They exaggerate the cost of repairs, and they usually use money of parents. We gave all these materials to the Minister of Education, Crete, and from the Minister of Defense of Education, they were sent to Donetsk and police of Mariupol. They write investigation. This is one of not a small example of results of our work, and we participate in even small victory changes public opinion in the city. And the more victories we have, the sooner the danger for sovereignty of Ukraine will be over. Thank you, Petro, and I would like to give the floor to Spartak. Spartak represents a very interesting organization, and among NGOs, it's very interesting in terms of structure and activity, and we have to speak about that.
Good afternoon. I represent here the Assistance to the Defense of Ukraine organization. It's a public organization. It's a successor of the well-known in Soviet time organization DOSAP. Its history more than one decade, several decades actually. It was established before the Second World War. It was transformed twice after the war, and actually when Ukraine became independent state. Over the last 25 years, this organization has been in existence, but it was not really visible. This organization deals with the training of specialists, their education training in civil and military specialization, and also the military patriotic education. In fact, today we forgot about this organization. And actually, what are the more should be prioritized, especially when we had this free market in the organization. There were the people who actually were targeted more at the profit and not from the top priority issues, the education of the patriots. As a result, we do not really have personnel. They actually damage the financial basis on what we have, the real estate. Taking into consideration what was going on in Ukraine of late, they preserved the real estate in order to make it profitable and show the money work to the pockets of the managers of this organization. They curtailed any kind of training or educational process, which actually was instrumental in training the specialists for the army or the related professions. When occupation of Ukraine started, we actually thought we remembered about this organization. We didn't have any assistance. We started to restructure it from inside. We have some support now from Kiev, but we face the same problems that the whole country faces: the lack of money, their improper distribution of that money, in the personnel, which we try to restore, to provide this educational and training organization, but those people can't work under the available conditions. The activists of this organization have a clear understanding that our conflict with Russia will be a lengthy one, not for 1 year, and we won't be able to stop the aggression of the Russian Federation in the near future, but we have to train the specialists and educate the patriots of this country, starting from these high schools. We start to participate actively, provide active work in high schools. At the beginning, everything was nice, 50, 100 people, but in reality, it were just the blown up, the blown figures. We have just a few dozens maybe. Now we are working to establish contacts with other countries. Also, we have the international project. And one of the most interesting direction or activities is the information one. If we succeed, we'll in the near future we'll launch in our city, or we'll provide support to independent mass media in the person of the Central Committee, which is located in Kiev. We have our own cinema studio. We are now making 2 films, and actually, as far as we can, we support those processes. Also, would like to say that the old guards, or so to say, the old employees, they try to preserve their positions, and perhaps we won't be able to avoid some kind of criminal cases to be launched. It's regretful that we lost a lot of time, but new activists and the persons of real patriots who last spring came to the city, to be more specific, they became awake and started to help the army. They started the process, and through this organization assisting the assistance to defense of Ukraine, we will be able to revive this kind of educational training process for creating new patriots of Ukraine. A lot of people joined the border guards and the national guards and the army. We have some of our people, unfortunately, were killed. And again, unfortunately, if this training were more efficient, maybe we could avoid those deaths or casualties. Also, I would like to say that so far the municipal authorities in Mariupol do not hear and do not really understand all the processes taking place in the city. And first of all, we have to re-profile the city from the industrial city to the military-industrial one. We participate, among other things, in different activities. We actually we gather documents, as main documents for illustration of some of the officials. Unfortunately, we haven't made too much progress here. Like in other parts of Ukraine, this process has been delayed by those organizations, decision-making organizations, actually. Spartak, as far as I know, the central committee of the organization, which is located in Kiev, the Assistance to Defense of Ukraine organization, cooperates now with the Ministry of Defense. Yes, we signed the memorandum with the National Guards. We are talking about a huge number of people, the radio operators, the drivers, mechanics, specialists in topography, etc. And the major demand is a patriotic and physically fit persons. I don't know why, but this process is being delayed by the Minister of Defense. I don't know why. We haven't signed so far the necessary documents, but we continue on our own initiative to cooperate with any military unit which is located within the boundaries of our city, and also the military commissariat of the recruitment committee of the city. So we are working with them. We start to create a material and technical basis anew, so to say, because everything has been stolen. They even they seized the training machine guns from these schools, and we are trying to recreate those. And whenever possible, we offer them the possibility not to purchase the new ones, but to get this training in our centers. Actually, this is one of the possibility to create anew the instructors, faculty, or the lectures. As I mentioned, we didn't have the old one. This is a volunteer activity because but the major, let's say, the teachers and instructors have to get the salary. We do not depend on the public budget. We actually spend our whatever we can make, the money we can make, we actually spend for the salaries of those instructors. Before maybe in USCMC will have questions, I would like to continue. Today, the civil society in Mariupol. Of course, we shouldn't. We cannot talk about the real huge movement which can radically change the situation in the city and make everything as it should be in democratic society. But in fact, there are no social, political, or public communal process or budgetary process in Kiev which will not be touched upon by the patriots, and try to persuade the authority to do what they have to do. And that they're doing that using the old methods without paying attention to the interests of the local community. We believe the right way to be the one which will bring the residents of Mariupol to the renovation of our city, whoever is at the power, at the helm of the boat, so to say. And two more words which are very important. I believe in those software and other public organizations. They often speak about the unification of the, let's say, the public activists, etc. Let's pull our efforts and do something simultaneously. I believe this is not the right way to follow. I believe each public organization has to do something close to it. We cannot unite the club of the, let's say, of dogs, dog owners or whatever. So no less difficult is to unite different organizations working along different lines, narrowly specialized areas. If you can take care of our narrow task, we can achieve maximum possible result in the efficiency of our efforts. The result will come. A very important thing, any public organization must work under conditions for the free competition. This is very important thing, openness of such organizations and interactivity, solidarity with those organizations will be the prerequisite of the success of that work. Thank you.
Questions? Thank you. Irina and colleagues, journalists, do you have questions to our speakers? No questions. Thank you very much, colleague Shirina. Thank you very much that you raised very important issues for Mariupol, and we hope that we'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you very much. All the best.